Hey everybody, and Tony here with a review of Verdi's La Traviata, which I saw at the Suomen Kansallisooppera. The conductor was Ainaras Rubikis. The production was done by Giancarlo Del Monaco. The assistant director was Jere Erkille. The sets and costumes were done by Michael Scott. The choreographer was Elsa Silverstersson, and the chorus masters were Marge Mejilana and Mauro Fabri. This review of La Traviata is dedicated to my very dear friend and fellow reviewer, Bob Morgan, aka Bob Samurai, who is celebrating his birthday today. So Bob, if you're watching this, I wish you a very happy birthday. You are absolutely awesome in all of your anime reviews. I look up to you so much as a role model. I hope to see a lot more awesome reviews from you. Stay classy as you are, stay great as you are, and here's hoping that 2018 will be an equally awesome year. With that said, I hope you enjoy my review of La Traviata, and stay great, man. So I was really excited to see this particular production of La Traviata because this was going to be the first time I saw Mari Faitova live as Violetta. And joining her was Markus Nekkanen, who I saw about a year ago singing one of the minor roles, was tonight the Alfredo. So with that said, let's get on to what I thought about the production, costumes, and the singers, and of course the conducting and chorus and orchestra. The production was absolutely lovely all around, with some really great scenery and of course some sets which were absolutely great. However, I wasn't too crazy about the lighting. I'm pretty sure the reason why they used the color white from the first to the third acts was to show that Violetta is a pure, lovely, and an absolutely wealthy courtesan who seems to host all these parties. But I would have loved to have a little bit more variety from the first to the third acts, because when it comes to having white light from the first to the third acts, it can get rather monotonous. I would have loved to have a lot more colors, not only in the lighting but also in the scenery. But I thought that the fourth act was pretty much the best use of lighting ever. This is also to show that Violetta's life is about to slip away, and of course the red signifies the overall excitement that's going on outside, especially since it's the carnival time. But I will say this about the costumes. They were all elegant. I love the design of each of the costumes. I love how each of the characters look, and it was a visual feast from beginning to end. And what's also interesting about this production is that Dottora Grinville is present not only in the fourth act, but also in the first and third act. And as Violetta said, Dottora Grinville is a true friend, and they not only tell it, but they show it in flying colors. So overall, even though I'm not too crazy about the monochromatic lighting from the first to the third acts, I will say that the costumes were absolutely elegant and everything was wrapped up solidly and nicely. And now we get to the singers, starting off with Mari Faitova as Violetta Verdi. I mainly followed her career on YouTube and of course on the internet in general. What I noticed about her is that even though she is a lyric soprano, she boasts a huge and versatile repertoire. From the light soprano roles like Frasquita from Carmen, to the light lyric soprano roles like Pamina from the Zauberflöte, to the coloratura soprano role of Violetta Valeri, and even to the dramatic coloratura soprano role of Norma. There's no doubt that Miss Faitova sang each of these roles with intermittent success, but still, she is very well known for her absolutely lovely tone, and that said tone managed to hold up pretty well tonight. What I noticed about her voice is that it is a natural lyric soprano voice. It is clean throughout all the registers. She had expressivity, she had a certain pristine technique which made her stand out so well, and she was an overall dedicated and committed singing actress. Yes, I would have loved to hear her sing the high E flat after singing Sempre Libera, but I digress. I still have to give my hat off to her for everything she did with Violetta. She was able to make her young and fresh in the first few acts. She was able to make her very emotional in the third act. And of course, she was able to make her like a wilting flower in the fourth act. Even though I do love Miss Faitova's interpretation of Violetta, she is unfortunately shadowed by some of my most favorite Violettas of all time, ranging from Joan Sutherland to Beverly Sills to Anna Moffat to Rita Shane to Eliana Kotrubash to Elena Moshuk, Diana Dambrau, Jessica Pratt, Clara Kolonitz. The list goes on. But I will have to give Miss Faitova a lot of credit for her dedication, her commitment, and the hard work she managed to pull off as Violetta Valeri. Equally as impressive was Markus Nikkanen as Alfredo Germont. I would love to see this gentleman in a lot more leading tenor roles, because not only does he have a well-focused and absolutely lovely lyric tenor voice, but he has a youthfully dashing stage presence. I've been following this gentleman's career for quite some time. Yes, I did first hear him and also see him in a slightly minor role in Le Troyon back in Hamburg, but here he was a leading role and he was absolutely wonderful from beginning to end. Yes, he did kind of mess up his lines in Parigi Cara, but I can definitely forgive him because the dedication, the diligence, the absolute charisma Mr. Nikkanen had tonight were definitely in pure evidence. I would love to see this gentleman in a lot more leading roles, like Edgardo from Lucia de la Memour, Tonio from La Fille de Regiment, Elvino from La Sonambula, Arturo from I Puritani, Leopold from La Juive, Roll from Les Huguenots, Jean de Ledon from Le Prophète, and many other great roles for a lyric tenor. This is a young tenor with a lot of potential for a great future, and I would love to see where his career will go. Then we have Giorgio Germont, who was sung by Jaakko Kortekangas. I absolutely love the color of his voice. It's mellow, it's rich enough, and it is absolutely lovely in texture. However, we have at our disposal some of the great Giorgio Germonts of the past, and my favorite ones have to include the likes of Cornell McNeil and Matteo Manugera. But I digress. I still have to give Mr. Kortekangas a lot of credit for what he was able to do with Giorgio Germont. He was tall and handsome. He was a debonair of the stage. He was a true gentleman in every single way. And of course, he was an equally fabulous musician. He was also a veteran of the stage, as I also realized that he has been performing not only in that particular opera house, but also in a lot of European opera houses. So even though he is basically a veteran of the stage, I did not hear any aging in his voice. It still managed to sound fresh and youthful, and I definitely love the texture. It has that velvet-like quality. It managed to be focused. It did not wobble, and it managed to stay focused, clean, and clear from beginning to end. And I have to give him a lot of kudos for not only doing an amazing job in this iconic father figure, but also for stealing the show in his own special way. Nina Keitel was an absolutely gorgeous Flora Bervois. She is an absolutely fine young mezzo-soprano, and I would love to see where her career will go. She's got a brilliant future ahead of her, and I'm sure that with that velvety and luscious lyric mezzo voice, she will definitely go places. Maria Lehnart was a feminine and absolutely lovely Anina. The way she was able to use her lyric mezzo voice was very commendable, and she had a lovely and darling stage presence. Samuli Takula was tall, dashing, and an absolute debonair as Il Barone du Fol. He was able to use that velvety, luscious, and absolutely virile baritone voice to his advantage, and more than anything, he was a tall, handsome, and absolutely alluring figure to witness. I fancy the pants off of him, and he certainly stole the show as Dufal. Jirki Korhonen was a noble and absolutely fatherly Dottore Grenville. With his basso profondo voice, he was able to make the best out of this wonderful character role. Halim Shon was a youthful, handsome, and absolutely endearing Gastone. With his light lyric tenor voice and his equally handsome stage presence, he certainly stole the show in this particular role, and I would really love to see where his future will go. Juha Pikarainen was absolutely dashing as Imaike Sedombanyi. With his alluring stage presence and equally focused bass baritone voice, he was an absolute charmer. We even had such wonderful singing from Johanna Suninen, who sang Giuseppe, and Jarmo Ojala, who sang the valet. And I also have to give kudos to the dancers Sari Stenholm, Johan Pakanen, Pasi Lepenen, and Timo Mokila for their absolutely wonderful dancing as the Spanish guests, and they were absolutely charismatic. So overall, the singing was absolutely amazing. Not only from the main players of Mari Faitova as Violetta, Markus Nekanen as Alfredo, and Jaakko Kortekangas as Giorgio Germont, but every other player who managed to do a magnificent job in their respective roles. And the conducting done by Einars Rubikis was energetic and absolutely charismatic. Since I sat at the very front row, I managed to see him work his magic with the wave of the baton, and how he managed to lead the orchestra was absolutely thrilling. He was able to find some nuances to work off of, and he was able to show versatility. And the chorus and orchestra of the Suomen Kansallisooppera were absolutely great from beginning to end. So overall, with a solidly lovely production, some great singing from Mari Faitova, Markus Nekanen, and Jaakko Kortekangas, and of course, great conducting done by Einars Rubikis, this production of La Traviata was an absolute wonder. And for those of you who saw this particular production of Verdi's La Traviata at the Suomen Kansallisooppera, what did you think of it? Did you feel like Mari Faitova, Markus Nekanen, and Jaakko Kortekangas did very superbly as the lead players? Did you feel like there was another singer who stole their thunder? Or did you feel like there was something or someone that just didn't really measure up? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for my review of Mozart's Die Zauberflöte, also at the Suomen Kansallisooppera, with Anna Cristina Capola as the First Lady. So until then, good night everybody and Happy New Year!